So I'm going to show you guys how to test a solar water heating system. This should work for most systems, assuming you have what's called an active system, meaning there's a pump that circulates the water. Passive systems like copper heart systems are real popular over on the West Coast, and TCT's progressive tube systems real popular here in Central Florida. Those systems you can't test them with this method. This is only for active systems, which are pumped, meaning that you have a tank downstairs and a pump that circulates the water from the panels down to the tank where the heat's collected. So basically what I have here is this is about a 30-year-old system. It was put in the late 70s. Everything up top is pretty much original. The original photovoltaic panel, which is that little skinny panel by the valve in the upper right-hand corner. The original solar thermal panels, which are the two big panels, they actually collect the heat that heats the water. So all that stuff's original, other than I think we've changed out the air vent valve and the freeze protection valve. Other than that, all the stuff on the roof is original. Now we've replaced everything downstairs. Here and there the homeowners had us come in and replace the tank, valves, pump, that kind of stuff. But everything up top is original. So what we're doing today is checking the system, making sure that it's circulating properly. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first step is you want to shut one of the circulation valves on the loop. It's on top of the tank. Most professionally installed systems here in Central Florida are going to have a red valve and a blue valve. It doesn't really matter which one you close, just so that you close one of them so water cannot circulate in the loop anymore. And the idea here is that we're intentionally stopping the circulation so that the water in those panels has to sit there and just get baked by the sun. It's normally moving, but since we've shut one of the valves, the pump can't cause the water to circulate, so that water's got to sit in that panel where it's going to get extremely hot, up to 350 degrees if it was summertime. So we're going to let that water heat up for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to walk back inside and shut that valve. Well, when I shut that valve, if the pump and everything are working, if all the valves are in the proper position and there's nothing obstructing the flow within the loop or within the collectors, that pump should immediately start circulating the water. And what's going to happen is that scalding hot water in those panels is going to come through that loop into the tank, and I should be able to put my hand on that pipe and it should get real hot. Now obviously there's no way for me to prove to you on video that the pipe is actually getting hot, so what I've done is I've taken the multimeter with a temperature sensor on it and I've taped it to that pipe. So when I open the valve, you'll see the temperature spike for a few seconds as that scalding hot water comes circulating through the pipe. So it's been a good 5 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to walk in there and shut that red valve, and I'm going to open that red valve. I've already shut it. So when I open it, it's going to allow water to circulate again. We should see a spike in the temperature. It should shoot way up, and that lets us know the pump is actually circulating. And one other tip, if you have access to the piping in the attic and you have two people, you can actually calculate the flow rate. If you know the internal diameter of the pipe, there are calculators on the internet you can go to that will actually give you the velocity. What you can do is, if you can get 10 feet of pipe in the attic or 20 feet of pipe or a known distance of pipe and have two people stand on that pipe, each of them with their hand on the pipe, when you have a third person open the valve downstairs, and you just record the time difference from when the first person feels the slug of hot water moving through the pipe and the second person, and that will give you an idea of how fast that water is moving through the pipe. So if you have a half-inch piece of type L copper and they're 10 feet away, and the first person says okay, and then the second person 2 seconds later says okay, you know that that slug took 2 seconds to travel 10 feet. So you can do a little bit of math there and calculate the feet per second moving through the pipe. And if you know the internal diameter of that pipe, you can convert that to gallons per minute. And you can actually pretty accurately tell how many gallons per minute your pump is circulating, which can give you a lot of diagnostic information. You know, it'll let you know if there's an obstruction in the system, the pump impeller's going out. You know, it's just kind of it's like taking your blood pressure. You know, it's just a general health indicator. If it's barely moving any fluid, and it's supposed to be moving, 5 gallons a minute, and it's only moving a quarter of a gallon a minute, you know you got a problem somewhere. But maybe I'll make another video about that later. For right now, let's just test it, see if it's circulating. So we're gonna go inside here. You can hear the pump deadheading. Hear that? That's the sound of the pump impeller spinning. Even though there's no water flowing, the pump's trying to move that water anyway. And you don't want to do this for more than about 15 minutes because you could end up burning up your pump. So here's the temperature. It says 110 degrees, 109.98. And of course it's falling because the sensor's right here and this pipe is slowly cooling. So that's why these numbers keep going down slowly. Now as soon as I open this red valve here, this is the valve coming from the tank going up to the collector, and this is the pipe coming back from the collector and return valve. So I'm going to go ahead and open this valve, and when I do, this temperature, if the pump is working and circulating and there's no obstructions, this temperature should shoot up within 10 seconds or so, because it takes some time for that hot water to come through the pipes. Okay, so the valve's shut. I'm going to put my hand here. And it's warm but not hot. Should get scalding hot. See, it's already heating up, but it should do it a lot more than that. That water should be scalding hot. Oh yeah, look at that temperature start to climb. So it's circulating, not really as fast as it could be, but that is a 30-year-old solar panel on the roof. they do lose a little bit of oomph over time. Yeah, I can't even keep my hand on that pipe, it's so hot. And then the supply side coming from the tank going to the collector is, I don't know, about 105. Not even that. Maybe probably about 95 degrees. It's just lukewarm. It's like body temperature. 95 to 100. And we're still climbing on the return side, almost 160 degrees. And if this was summertime, that would be even hotter. If it was summer, yeah, if I let it sit for an hour and then kick the pump on and open this valve, we'd have 350 degree water coming through. But it's like 68 degrees outside right now in the sun, so it doesn't have quite as much kick in the spring as the summer. But it's definitely heating water and circulating water, so we know it's working. So, if you were going to do this test at home, what you would do is shut one of the two loop valves, so now water can't circulate. Leave it for 10 or 15 minutes. Make sure you go outside and check that it's nice and sunny out. No trees or anything are shading the solar panel. And let that panel heat up for 10-15 minutes, then come back and open the valve. And you notice as soon as I shut that valve, the temperature is starting to fall, because the water in this pipe, where I have my sensor, is starting to cool off. It's emitting heat to the outside air, and it's slowly cooling. So that's why you're seeing this temperature drop. It was at 160, and now it's down to 155. And if I open this again, it should go back up. So, just to give you an idea of temperature difference, I've got the sensor over on the other side. It's crashing pretty quick.